When are they gonna do a lifetime membership? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right? Weed for
I'm sure
life.
people are sick of doing this every year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do I need to come back just again?
Do you know?
Can I'll just pay one price forever.
Do you know about there was actually a government program in like the 80s where they gave out free weed for life, government weed to like 13 people that all had like chronic illnesses and were dying and shit. And there was this one single solitary dude at the time that I saw the documentary that was still alive and was still receiving his 300 joints a month.
Yeah.
In a tin, and it was all sealed and had been sealed since the 80s and with just some crazy government weed.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I'd smoke the shit out of it. Why not?
So they should do that. Stop making me fucking renew everything in my life, okay?
I don't want them touching my weed, though. I'd rather get my own dab, thank you.
Yeah, just give me the ability to do it.
I don't trust Uncle Sam to decipher what's good and what isn't.
Yeah, if they want to cut you off, they just start poisoning you.
Yeah, I don't want your fucking crappy BHO, bro. I want some good shit.
So us here at the Natural Habitat Podcast will never poison you, and we'll also never send you weed because that's illegal. Yeah. But wait, check this out. What if weed gets legalized recreationally nationwide, and you can mail it back and forth like you do cheese packages? Like
then I'm gonna start putting it in all my mixtapes.
That's not a bad idea. I remember we did that trick one time. I don't remember who it was, maybe Ritz, but we took CDs and took the jewel cases apart and put a joint in the spine of the CD. And we had like 4 of them and passed them out to everybody on the crew. And it made an impression, but not enough to make me famous. So it's kind of a waste of weed.
The Natural Habitat Podcast. Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast.
Blah, 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 blah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Natural Habitat Podcast. My name is Mikey Booyah.
My name is Dramatic News Segment.
And today we are here doing a throwback all about the news. I mean, we used to do these before we got our time machine. It was the thing to where we would go back instead of going back in the time machine. We would kind of just talk about old school video games, old school TV shows, movies of the past. And today it's going to be the news because we never really got into this before. So, over the years of broadcast television, some crazy, crazy, extreme shit has happened. You know what I mean? Did you just break your finger on camera?
Yeah.
Are you practicing for the Pain Olympics?
Yep.
All right, good. Keep it up, buddy. Keep up the good work. Mm-hmm. So,
holy shit, speaking of that.
Yeah?
Sorry to throw you off topic.
No.
Did you see the crazy motherfuckers that jumped off the bridge and bungeed from their skin?
Oh, no, from like hooks in their skin? Like how people do that?
One hook, bro. One hook through a fucking huge chunk of skin on their shoulder blade.
No way.
This motherfucker jumped off a bridge and swung like a beast. Holy fuck. I didn't know your skin was that strong, for one. And for two, that shit looked nasty, bro. Oh, that shit had to hurt like a bitch. I would have been a fucking knocked out.
That's fucked up, man. I'd be like,
sleep. Knockout.
I'd be like, your epidermis is showing, is what I'd tell him.
Yeah. Do you remember doing that in school?
Yeah. Hey, your epidermis is showing.
Yeah. Or like telling somebody, hey, dude, you dropped your pocket.
Yep. Or what about the Pen 15 Club? Or the Pen Club? You'd ask people if you wanted to join the Pen Club, and they'd be like, what's the Pen Club? And you'd be like, it's like a little gang, like a little club that we started called the Pen Club. And they'd be like, yeah, you like get them to talk them into it. They say, yeah. And you go, all right, well, I'm going to like tag you up. So you like pull out a Sharpie and you write pen. And then you go, all right, so like so-and-so is 13. I'm 14. So you're going to be 15. And then you write 15. And then it says penis on their arm in Sharpie. and they can't get it out.
That's pretty good.
That for some reason just ran rampant throughout my school, and the Pen 15 Club was a thing. But
so is this fucking hooked bungee shit, I guess. Holy fuck!
Are you looking it up now?
Yeah, dude.
These
guys are fucking batshit crazy, bro.
So they put it in the middle of their back, or is it like on the side?
These guys are using two. The guy I saw in the other video was only using one, and they're fucking. It's like on their shoulder blades, bro. Oh fuck!
Here, I'm gonna watch this video right now. We're gonna get to the bottom of this, and I'm gonna. Does he scream?
Parachuting and shit too, doing it.
What the fuck? So they're like hanging from hooks that are attached to parachutes.
Ways than one.
Yeah.
Leaping off platforms 250 feet high with their harnesses attached to piercings on their backs. The daredevils, who call themselves the Sinner Team, filmed themselves performing a series of mind-boggling bungee jumps and base jumps in Konikovo, Russia. They are first seen preparing for their jumps
they're in
by
Russia.
piercing their backs with 4 small metal bars to create a rigging to which their bungee cords are attached. They then leap off the platform and record the look of sheer pain etched on their faces when the chute tugs at their skin, using a camera attached to a pole.
Fuck that, dude. Are you serious?
So this is a little bit more extreme. I didn't really notice, but they were fucking parachuting. But the other guy was just like straight up. I don't know if it was a rope or a bungee. It looked like it could have possibly been a fucking rope, like a swinging rope. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like a big old giant rope swing kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
I guess that would make a little bit more sense, because the bungee, like, you figure just the force of it pulling. But I get a lot of
bungee has give though.
Yeah, a lot of it's absorbed by the cord.
Stretched. Yeah, exactly. So, and then your skin acts like a bungee also.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit, man. I remember I was reading this article the other day about how Rotten.com like warped a generation. And I don't know if that was a thing when you were a kid, if you ever went to Rotten.com.
Of course.
It's fucking nothing compared to what we have now.
Yeah, that shit ain't got shit on YouTube.
And back when Rotten.com came out, it was like they were fighting for a right to like free speech and freedom of expression and shit. And they would show crazy shit all the time, just all kinds of like decapitation videos. They got in a bunch of trouble when they released crime scene photos from Princess Diana's crash that later turned out to be fake. But that's when like the media started talking about him, and then it became a public thing. And this guy was saying that because all of these people, when they were young, like us, were on Rotten.com before we were supposed to be. And that was some of the craziest shit we had seen. You know, there was that, Faces of Death, and like those banned from TV fucking VHS tapes that you would get in the mail.
Yeah, and, which is all YouTube now, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
and they're saying that is why everything has heightened so fast. Is because, you know, once it became available and it was out there, there's something about fear porn that just makes people want to see it. Even if it's like you're not like a murderous person. You don't have these tendencies. You don't like watching people suffer. But for some reason, you want to see this lion rip this guy's face off. Like, you just want to see it happen because the video's out there and you want to see it. Did you hear Joe Rogan played a video of a fucking man getting fucked to death by a horse on his podcast? And then after he played it, he questioned if he could go to jail for having that on his computer. I think so, bro. I'm pretty sure you can go to jail for that. It's like, that's bestiality porn, which is 100% illegal.
No.
No?
To make it or recreate it is probably illegal.
I'm pretty sure to have it and possess it is illegal as well. And he didn't just stream it. He had it on his computer. He said that he moves it from hard drive to hard drive, and he's watched it hundreds of thousands of times. I mean, he watches it in a comical way. It's not like he's getting off. He fucking laughs at it and shows everybody the noises that the guy makes when the dick goes through his abdomen and kills him. And it was super horrible. But when you break that down to its simplest form, that is a man with bestiality porn on his computer. So, it's kind of a fine line.
Yeah.
But my point is, he is a weirdo, but he is looking at it in a comical way, or just because of this like fear porn that everybody's used to.
Yeah.
So I think that it shows in the news. You see how I did that? Little segue. Yeah. It shows, some crazy shit has been broadcast live on the news, and the earlier you go, it was more and more by accident. It was like things were broadcast on live TV because they didn't know it was going to happen, and they were rolling live. And now they just roll on horrible shit, knowing that it's horrible, and they're going to put it on TV. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like a weird, it's a weird
yeah, like before it was by
happened.
chance, and now it's by force.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because
that makes sense.
Because, all the old videos are just, footage of regular shit, and then something pops off. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then somebody would like randomly do some crazy shit, and then it would actually make the cut or like whatever. Which we're gonna see some of that right now.
Yep, that's right. So real quick,
go ahead.
I have a couple stats that I looked up. I found out that the value of news media markets in the United States is $500 billion. It's $594 billion. And their estimated expenses per year is only $1.6 billion. So all the news companies combined spend $1.6 billion, but they're making $600 billion. And only an actual large amount, 21% of Americans are still confident in TV news and 25% in newspapers. But that's compared to 60% 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so 60% of people believed in the news 10 years ago. Now nobody does. And 20% is just a general statistic, because if you do the poll now in 2016, it would probably be like 10% or less. And that is horrible, especially when something that big of a fucking staple in our society is supposed to be trusted and is supposed to show you what's important and supposed to educate the people so that people can make informed, educated decisions on things that are happening in their lives and around them. You know what I mean? It's the politics of it is horrible and fucking shouldn't be allowed anymore, I think. But
yeah,
let's go. Let's jump into this bitch.
All right, we got a lot of clips here queued up. Let's see. We got a bunch of crazy serious shit, and then we got some lighthearted shit to sprinkle in between. So I say we start hard. We start strong.
Hardcore gay porn hard.
Gay porn hard. And here, I'm going to share the screen so that you can see it. And then we'll just say the titles of all these videos so people can go find them. Everything is available on YouTube. And this first one is going to be the Los Angeles riots in 1992.
All today's smoke sessions are brought to you by naturalhabitatpodcast.com. Feel free to smoke with us whenever we're playing videos.
I'm going right
That's
over
right.
the top of them, so I'm going to lose them now. But it's the first law enforcement activity I've seen out here.
They obviously have thought about this. They anticipated this. They, meaning the LAPD. They obviously
fucking
had
crazy
plans
looking, man.
to deal with it. And as we said before, they've allocated $1 million to overtime in case things like this happen. So they are obviously carrying out a thought-out plan.
In the meantime, don't go near this area. South Central Los Angeles at Florence and Normandy.
Yeah, you think so?
Because there is still no police presence there, and a lot of people trying to get through that intersection have been assaulted with rocks and bottles and sticks. So as long as it's an ongoing situation, you best advised to stay clear.
Can we, Ann, and help me out here, briefly recap what we've seen?
Good advice,
seen
lady.
A liquor store and a gas
So
station
I remember
continue to
seeing
be
this.
looted. We've seen
like when I was a kid.
And I presume bottles and various
I was
things
6
going
years
to
old
cars,
when this
school
happened.
Buses, RTD buses.
And I didn't understand what was happening at all
Dragged from cars
with my child mind. But I remember my uncle was watching it,
and ended up on the street, and then we
like
saw,
live on the news.
the driver of that
And I like
truck
walked
pulled
in.
out of his car
And it's like something out of a movie, dude. It's like the fucking Purge or some shit.
The car just moved into that intersection, and as it did,
people got sick of the fucking government's bullshit.
Are there people inside that
This
car?
is what happens.
People got sick of being treated like fucking something that they're not. People got fucking sick of lack of fucking respect of human beings. You know what I mean? Like it's happening right now.
Or she is going to get out of there.
Still happening. Here, why? I have no idea, but here we are. What year is this? 92?
Yeah.
Holy shit, Jay. It's 2016, bro. It's still happening.
Yep. You know, this doesn't look very much,
We can't hear.
doesn't look very different from modern day Detroit.
No, and we wouldn't hear those things.
This was last year.
Fortunate enough, we might see muzzle flashes,
After the
but,
Michael Brown
we wouldn't
shit.
hear
This was
anything.
last year after fucking
Yeah.
all the protests. This was like, this shit is still happening. Just as big or worse.
And I echo what Ann said. I wonder why that the streets around there have not been blocked off as yet. You would think that they would not expose seemingly innocent people driving through this intersection in their cars.
And
this kind of,
I think
of violence.
it's good that we're bringing it back up.
Well, hopefully the word is getting out on all
And
the
refreshing
radio
everybody's
stations.
memories and not letting it just disappear
Drive
into the
and listen to
past.
your car radio.
The more we talk about it and bring it to light,
You'll get the
the
word to
more
stay
people
away
are
from this
reminded by
area.
it, and maybe they
The
fucking
rest of the neighborhood is perfectly
will treat
serene
people
and
nicer
calm
a little
as near as
bit.
we can
Yeah,
see,
because this
but
is what it. That's exactly what happens when people are, you know, treated like second class. When people are in, you know, impoverished areas where it seems like it's impossible for you to, like, you know, ever get ahead or come up or make any money in a legal way. And, you know, when you try to, you know, go along all the state mandated lines and talk to all the courts and do all these things, and everybody's just like, yeah, whatever, fuck off, get out of here. Like, that area of town, we're not going to put any money into that. We're focusing on this. And if you just don't listen to any group of people for, you know, a long enough time, they're going to rise up against you. And you see it time and time again. And that's what we really need is, you know, we need communication and we need proper media coverage, which is what we don't get. And I think that's what the, you know, the main point of this whole episode is going to be, is how shitty media is and how biased they are.
Well, let's watch this real moment. Go to the Jordan F. Romero video. It's the first one I sent you today. And that one is... this shows what happens on the news when you're not prepared for shit. This is what happens when you live stream something and aren't really sure what you're live streaming.
All right, let me find it up here. The carjacker one?
Yeah, it's...
All right, so carjacker Jordan F. Romero.
And he is looking kind of erratic, isn't he? I don't know. No. And look at this. He's just running. Oh, my. Well, it looks like he's a little disoriented or something. It's always possible God could be on something. No, get off it.
Too late.
My name is Doug.
My name is Doug. Why was Doug in there at the last point?
This guy was trying to commentate this like a fucking sports commentator.
Mm-hmm.
And just fucking, pow.
Yep. Turned out that he was doing some super disrespectful shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh my God, I just commentated that guy's suicide.
Yeah, how do you feel now, bro? You know? And maybe you shouldn't have been fucking focused on that. Maybe you should have been focused on, like, whatever insider fucking government trading deal was going on, or like whatever real shit you're supposed to be fucking on, you know what I mean? Instead of like, yeah, cool, carjacker. This isn't Grand Theft Auto, bro. We don't need to see that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna end up how it ends up. You know, there's way more important things to be focusing on, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're supposed to have like the lesser of two evils, I guess, is how they look at it. When really it's like no, because you're just doing more evil bidding by fucking trying to show one aspect and not show another, you know. And it's hard to judge who's to say what is news, right? But that's their fucking job, and they should be, you know, deciphering what they show and what they don't. Like, important things in time happen, like this next clip you're about to show, you know, like real important things. this is cool. You know, this was something that probably should have been on the news. But other things like car chases and fucking, you know, things of that nature or whatever, things that really have no real place or fucking like that are trivial, that don't have any meaning whatsoever, probably shouldn't be on the news. You know what I mean? They shouldn't make it to fucking the prime time news.
Yeah.
Put that shit in a side article in a newspaper, or put that shit in the cute space wherever it goes somewhere, you know, where it's fucking, you know, nobody's got time for that bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, talk about things that matter, you know, talk about fucking important shit and prepare people for shit, warn people for what they need to be warned from, you know, like, I mean, I don't understand where it's all fucking population control, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sure, that's part of it.
It's all, and it's all just keeping everybody entertained and keeping everybody's heads pointed in the wrong direction.
Just keep giving us your money.
Mm-hmm.
Just give us all your money.
But this was one of those monumental things that happened on live TV, and this was on April 9th, 2003, and it was the fall of Saddam Hussein's statue of Saddam Hussein.
Baghdad. Earlier today, we saw this crowd, this small crowd that's
I don't know his name. I'm not familiar with it.
Taking off their shoes, throwing them at this statue, which is a deeply insulting Arab gesture.
It looks like it might be coming down.
Before they started taking it.
That's it? It doesn't come down all the way?
No.
Like, nice.
They could get the brass to bend, but not to break. Apparently, people throwing garbage.
It looked like that scene in a movie where like people are dancing, and they do like that lean thing, where they like their body stays straight, but they lean all the way to the side.
The Michael Jackson thing.
Way down, close to the ground, and then they come back, and then they lean all the way to the other side, and then they come back, but they don't actually fall or get their hat or coat dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, dude, that's crazy. That's one of those things that should be on the news. You know, if the story is a carbon copy of something that happens all the time, like a guy gets pulled over by the cops and then doesn't pull over and goes on a high-speed chase, or a liquor store gets robbed, or, you know, there's like a fucking hit and run in the Walmart parking lot. We don't need to hear about that shit. Like, put that in a different section, like you said. There's plenty.
It's like
there's plenty of important things.
They only do the negative shit.
Yeah,
you know?
and what it is, it turns into the same story. It turns into the same story, the exact same story, with different names.
Well, it's like fear tactics. You know what I mean? Like, it's fear pimping, dude. They basically like make you scared of shit, so you pay attention more and more. And the more they do it, the more you pay attention to it, and the more that they could swing you into fucking whatever, you know, whatever vote they got coming for this or that or whatever thing that is the undertow, you know what I mean? Like, there's always something lying behind something else, and it seems like there's always some type of fucking political agenda and the reason why they do things that they do. Especially like if you look at, depending on what news channel you're watching, is the agenda that you're getting, and it's all because like Rupert Murdoch and like the people who own Fox News and other places, and you know, and they just push their political agendas, and that's what it really all boils down to. And it shouldn't even be an issue. I don't understand how that's allowed. I don't understand how it's if it's a news outlet, it should be part of the public domain. You know, it should be part of, like, if you're going to be a public outlet like that, you should have some type of responsibility to the public, the same as like a politician or a fucking, you know, somebody who holds office. If you're claiming to fucking be the news and you want to be the gospel that we're supposed to believe, then you shouldn't be allowed to push any type of agendas. You should just be able to report what's happening as it happens. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be it shouldn't be about agendas or pushing a point of view like it is, and it 100% is. And then if people don't agree with that, then that's because people have identified with that as part of them, you know? It's like we talked about before, and it's like people never see past something they don't want to see past, you know? If you hear something bad about something and it's related to something that you identify with, automatically you're going to be in denial of that, you know? And that's something that's never going to change. And this is exactly what's happening every day. And that's why I don't watch the news. That's why nobody watches the news, apparently, because 20% of people fucking don't believe in it. You know, it's crazy, right? Yeah. I mean, only 20% of people believe in it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. And you know what people don't realize is that when, like you said, when you watch the news, you're getting someone's opinion on the matter and someone's stance on what's happening. You're not getting the facts, which is what you should be getting. You should just be getting, here's what happened. Maybe even both sides. Here's both sides of the argument. You know what I mean? And what you get is one side. So if you watch something on the news and you think it's interesting or you think that it's crazy and you're like, wow, that's insane. And then you go somewhere like to work or to the grocery store and you tell somebody about that story on the news, you're not telling them about how that happened. You're telling them your view on that. And it's not even your view. It's someone else's view. Yeah, but you're saying it crazy, right? In the point of view of this person that made the story for you, so you're already biased in your conversation, and people already think something of you that might not be true. And
it's hard to think about stuff like that. It's hard to believe that somebody else can form your opinion for you, and we're all guilty of it. Every single person is guilty of that, because look at what you wear, look at the clothes that you wear, the things that you buy, the things that you use every day, the cars that you drive, the places that you live in, everything is fucking all formed opinions for you. Because I seriously doubt that everybody in life is born and has the same fucking ideas and comes to the same conclusions on their own, you know? These are all things that are formed for us, you know? It's like we're just part of this cycle. We can't help it.
Yeah,
we're all part of our fucking surroundings, and we're just trying to make the best of it. You know?
Yeah, it's like how many people out there wear Chucks? You know, maybe it could or could not be. It is because, but you might not know it, because one of your favorite characters on a TV show or a movie was wearing Chucks. Because if you look at it, Chucks are very prominent in pop culture. I'm wearing some right now. So it's like I'm guilty of it. And that's just a tiny thing to where you see it a lot, and it becomes a thing that is supposed to be on people's feet. It's on people's feet that are cool, people that are confident, all these people in movies that you see, and they're all wearing Chucks. It's never like the bad guy that has Chucks on. You know what I'm saying?
You identify with that object, just like you identify with the news that you watch. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's what we're trying to say is that it's all that fucking, it's all programming. We're all programmed by it.
And that leads me to one of my favorite videos ever. And this is, it's entitled "Reporter Gets Angry and Tells Us the Real News."
All right.
So have you seen this?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Being at least a UK military intervention seems unlikely. Why are we doing this outside? Because it's cold and it's starting to rain and we can easily do it from a studio. I'm just wondering what... Yeah, well, that's very easy for you to say in your ivory tower. I'm just wondering... Really? Really? Okay, do you hear what he just said? Do you hear what he just said, why don't you, for once in your life, just do the fucking news? All right, no. I'm going to do the fucking news. No, here is the fucking news. Ex-commercial TV PR man, old Etonian and occasional pig fucker David Cameron would like to bomb Syria. Unfortunately, Russia's got there first, and America's been doing it for ages. He wants to bomb Syria to stop the flow of refugees fleeing all the bombs. He's also hoping it will stop the increased influence of Islamic extremism. Bombing Syria will, of course, destroy the one remaining multicultural society in the region, leaving it open to the increased influence of Islamic extremism. To bomb Syria, therefore, is clearly mental. In other news, no, I'm doing the fucking news. In other news, Muslims are bad, China's bad, but not as bad as it used to be, and Russia is always bad. Nuclear weapons are good, and to suggest not using nuclear weapons is bad. Onto the economy. Debt is good. Corrupt banks are bad, but not bad enough for us to do anything about them. And poverty in the UK is a figment of your imagination. Onto housing. Jeremy Corbyn's plans to build affordable housing and create social housing for the poorest people in our society is a terrible idea. That's according to multi-millionaire, property magnate, and all-round shitpot Sir Alan Sugar. Environmental news, there's nothing to worry about, so please carry on consuming at your usual rate. And finally tonight, entertainment. Matt Damon's intelligent and articulate observations about sexuality in Hollywood means that he is definitely a homophobic twat. My name is Jonathan Pye, and that was the fucking news.
No, nobody could hear you coughing up a lung, but I could see it in the video.
I turned my microphone off. After a while.
Was that a real clip, though? You know, like, see, this is where the sauce comes in. The internet sauce that covers everything that we watch on the internet. And I don't trust that this is if this was a real thing, they come from a live news place that fired this dude and sent this out to the internet because they didn't like him.
Mm-hmm.
Or if this is an act, because we see an awful lot of acts, and that's okay too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But what's the truth, you know?
Yeah, because I doubt that they would have kept rolling.
Yeah, it's for sure was never live broadcast.
It says right here.
Definitely not.
A great Jonathan Pye video. Heads up, it is satire.
Yeah, see?
He got me. All right, well, I'm gonna
gotcha.
follow that up with a very real freak out video, a classic from Bill O'Reilly, and it's called Bill O'Reilly Freaking Out. So, what I said before, God, that dab got me, man. I got this
holy shit, Jay.
I got this crumble. I forget what strain it is. It's like something berry. But I meant to do one little like crumble, and I did two. So it was like a double dab, and I only meant to drop one in there. So thank you, Gas Man, for extracting that.
Yeah, it made his lungs crumble.
Mm-hmm. So here it is, Bill O'Reilly Freak Out, and I'm going to turn my mic off again.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but... Yeah, I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean, to play us out?
Sting is going to do, it's a video, Sting video.
What is...
For credits.
I don't know what that means, to play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah.
He just doesn't understand the sentence.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Right. Fucking thing sucks.
Yeah. 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
He fucking changed it. He was like, I'm going to fucking say it so it makes sense to me. And then he just throws shit around for a while. That's great. That's good shit.
What a bitch, huh?
Mm-hmm. So, little update on me. I'm better. I'm doing a lot better. I can breathe.
A whole lot better.
I can talk now. I'm not coughing in between sentences.
Mm-hmm.
Or words, rather. But, yeah, for anybody out there that's wondering, I'm fine. And this is not a robot version of me that Pat and Nat replaced with the real Mikey. when he went and died from that dab. So, what are we doing?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
All right. Let's see. We have here's some footage that I remember seeing because it wasn't that long ago. It was only 5 years ago. The tsunami in Japan. And this is new footage, actually.
Oh,
Look at all those cars, dude. It's like just a wave filled with cars. A guy in a box
truck.
What
would you do, dude? What the fuck would you do?
That truck's trying to get away.
There's nowhere to go.
If you were what? In the car, or if I was the guy recording?
Anywhere. Even the guy recording, like, why is he not leaving? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit's coming straight at you, bro. You're done. Fuck you doing, man?
Man, look at how insane that is. It's like,
what are they doing?
our planet is like so fragile, and there's so many things working together, and it's crazy how just this minor, like a tsunami, if you think of the whole size of the ocean, it's nothing. And if you were to be looking at this from space, it would be like you had a bowl of milk and it kind of just splashed over the side a little bit. But this shit's intense, dude. Just so much force.
Here's the problem. We know that these things exist, and we know they've always existed, and we know that they always will exist, and we know that we shouldn't live in those fucking areas.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stop anybody from doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's their own fault, really, for living in these places. I mean, like, the coastal regions around the planet are the most populated places on Earth. Everywhere. And the fact that we live in these places that are below sea level and don't expect anything to happen is kind of fucking foolish. You know what I mean? It's like, you gotta know that, duh, bro, the shit's gonna happen. There's only so much you could do.
Yeah.
Until a storm comes, which they come every year. You know, you have no time really to plan for anything else. You know the shit's coming. I don't know why you take the time or waste the time to like keep living in the same places or keep trying to fucking
right. Especially right now we're watching a video of Hurricane Katrina. Damn, look at that.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, well, it's not insane. It's fucking. It should be expected. Is my point. You know?
It's true. And fucking New Orleans is below sea level, and it's right there. So it's like it shouldn't be like how they are putting all this money into like rebuilding it and building all these homes and rebuilding everything in New Orleans. They should just not live. We should just not have a giant population of people living in New Orleans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
not habitable.
Most of it isn't.
Yeah, it's not habitable.
The Everglades, for people. Most of Florida shouldn't be habitable. Most of fucking Louisiana, most of these places down there shouldn't have people living in them. LA shouldn't have people living in it. It's a basin. It's a fucking giant lake. You know what I'm saying?
So, I think that one of the biggest things ever to happen on live news, at least in my life, probably not maybe one of the biggest things ever, but at least in my life that I remember is the World Trade Center. I remember like watching it that morning, and then I remember it was a thing when I went to school. It was like they had the TV in the class and it was playing the news, and we watched the news for like 3 hours. Yeah. And then our principal made like some big heartfelt announcement, and then we went home early. So it's like that is like a really ingrained thing in like my memory.
Same for me.
And it's kind of weird that they had a bunch of kids watch the news. Like But at the same time, it's important that we see it. You know, I think that it's important that, like, if something like that happens, that's one of those things that you should broadcast. You know what I mean? That's not a car chase or just a small thing. That's one of those things that people need to see. And I think that, you know, we're at a disadvantage because we have fucking Game Boys and our fucking Trapper Keepers and all of our cool friends and our fucking PlayStations, and we got our sweet life with our basketball teams and shit. And in other countries, people are being like, kids are being raised to hate other people, to be malicious, to learn how to fight, all these different things. So I think that it's good to kind of shock people into reality. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that I'm aware of in the world that I might not have had this interest in if I didn't have that feeling of like, what the fuck is happening right now? I'm watching this live on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember one day, I came home, or it was after school. I went to my homie's house, and it was me and two of my friends. And I want to say it was like right around the time when I first started smoking weed. We were like 10 or 11 or something like that. And we were like going back to the house. His neighbor had some weed. I turned on the TV, and it was live TV of this guy. I want to say he was in LA, maybe not. He was driving around in a truck, and he had parked on an overpass, and they had the overpass like barricaded so cars couldn't drive on it. And he was like throwing shit at the cops like below him, and he had this big sign that he put out on the road with rocks, and it was written out like on a bed sheet, and it said no HMO. So it was like something about like he lost his insurance or something. Some shit that I didn't understand when I was a kid that I still don't understand now. So he lost his insurance, or something happened, or he lost his job or his benefits, and he put this fucking thing out, goes into his truck, pulls out a shotgun, puts it in his mouth, and fucking blows his brains out right there. And I remember sitting on the couch with my backpack and my Trapper Keeper, no adult supervision at all, and watching the blood like pour out of this dude's head and just kind of pool out on the road. And the helicopter just kept circling and just circling and circling, and like fucking, they just kept showing it, and they were like talking about it. And it was like, you know, apparently that stuck with me because I remember it really vividly.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, it's crazy shit. And I think that was around the time when they stopped cutting away and started zooming in.
Yeah, and that's where they kind of fucked us up, you know, because it's really like the less important shit, honestly. Like, it might be important to that day, but in the grand scheme of things, that was insignificant. Something that probably shouldn't have even aired, you know. Yeah, it's a thing that happens. Somebody's mentally unstable, you know. It's a fucking thing that happens when there's this many people, you know. People get mentally unstable, you know. It's like, it's a certainty.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean that it needs to be news.
So, speaking of mentally unstable, I have this piece. It's a famous piece from Geraldo Rivera, and it's actually the part, like the piece that got him, it made him blow up and got him to where he was when we were kids. You know what I mean? You know how he was the shit, like, to our parents, and everyone would like, Geraldo Rivera said it, and it was like some sort of like serious thing.
Did you hear him badmouthing Bernie?
No, I didn't. But this was an expose that he did on Willowbrook State School, and it was an insane asylum. Have you ever seen this?
Oh, no.
It's some heavy shit, man. We're about to watch it right now. So check it out.
Back in 1972, the Willowbrook State School was the subject of a famous expose by a young reporter looking for his big break.
All right, I'm going to go ahead.
It would be bad.
Skip forward a little bit.
It was horrible. There was one attendant for perhaps 50 severely and profoundly retarded children. Lying on the floor, naked and smeared with their own feces, they were making a pitiful sound, the kind of mournful wail that it's impossible for me to forget. This is what it looked like, this is what it sounded like, but how can I tell you about the way it smelled? It smelled of filth, it smelled of disease, and it smelled of death. Perhaps the governor can defend and explain away the budget cuts for the Department of Mental Hygiene, and perhaps Dr. Miller can explain and defend the filthy, dehumanizing conditions we found in this and other buildings, but they won't do it on this program. What we found and documented here is a disgrace to all of us. This place isn't a school, it's a dark corner where we throw children who aren't pretty to look at. It's the big town's leper colony.
Man, so he's calling out like government officials and shit. This is what the news should be like.
We were sitting on both sides of him.
And he started to cry.
He started to cry.
And he said, you see how it was? You see how it was? We were victims too. Meaning the attendants or the people that worked there. He just sat there and his eyes like rolled and he just started drooling in the hotel room.
We could see what was
happening. So they're saying
that
that movie Cropsy was based on a guy that used to snatch kids from here. But that's crazy, man. This place was let's see. I want to try to find out where it's from. Like what year, but it was very recent, like in the 80s or something like that. And they were operating, fully functioning, and it was like you saw it. It's like fucking it's like some level of hell in there. It's like the 5th level of hell. And that's not how anybody should be treated. You know what I mean? Those are people. Like those are conscious, smart people. Like just because they have like some sort of defects or, you know, like some of them just had Down syndrome. Like some of them were worse than others, had like more birth defects and whatnot. But these people understand what you're talking about. They are people just like everybody else. I hate it when someone has some sort of like mental or physical handicap or retardation and people go up to them and go, "Hi, how are you? Are you having a good day?" It's like, talk to them like a person. This dude's 35 years old. You know what I mean? Don't talk to him like that. It's very disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like my cousin's quadriplegic and people talk to him like that all the time, but he like designs websites and shit and smokes weed and drinks Coronas all day. So he's an adult. So when people talk to him like a baby, they're like belittling you and saying like that you can't figure out what they're saying. But, you know, it's dope that he went in there, called out those officials, and was like an actual fucking newsman. You know what I mean? I give him credit for that. That's dope. So we have a whole slew of videos left, but we're running out of time. So this might have to come back in a part 2. You want to play one more? Play one more before we get out of here?
Yeah.
Which
one are we gonna play?
Let's see. Let's
go to let's go with the assassination one.
Which one?
The Oswald assassination.
Oh yeah. That is that's a great instance of what I was talking about before with how things used to happen on accident back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This was just Lee Harvey Oswald walking out of court or a jail transfer. That's what it is. It's called HD stock footage. Assassin Lee Harvey Oswald is killed in jail transfer.
There's an ominous symbol in...
Whoa. I did it. I made it big.
Harvey Oswald's murder weapon as he is taken to the city jail basement where an armored car is to move him to a maximum security cell. Oswald walks his last mile. His assailant moves in from the right.
There is Lee Oswald. He's been shot. He's been shot. Lee Oswald has been shot.
Now, from another camera, the motion is slowed. The murderer moves in And here is the shame of all America as Jack Rubenstein takes the law unto himself. The dying Oswald is right.
The shame of all America.
Why did they put a Stein on it? Rubenstein. It was Jack Ruby.
Jack Rubenstein.
That's what he was known as.
All America as Jack Rubenstein takes the law.
Jack Rubenstein. They wanted to Jew it up, man.
I know.
They got to Jew it up. Fear porn.
They got him. They exposed his real name.
So,
why was ICB on there?
That was the song.
Oh.
Here, look. Before we get out of here, we'll do one more smoke sesh.
Today, 7 people were killed. Police found 38 other bodies. 38 other bodies.
Bloody naked bodies in the street, stuck with knives. Beaten, battered wives, strangled, popped out their eyes. Terror levels on the rise. Drug fiends are taking lives on the news at 6 o'clock and again at 11. Pedophiles and rapists snatching kids up out their schools. Bodies dismantled with a garden hoe and some power tools. People run around, pissing nades in swimming pools. On the news at 6 o'clock and again at 11. Arsonists burning people and they dogs up while they sleeping. Peeping times peeping in poisonous gas leaking. Hurricanes blowing cities down every other weekend on the news at 6 o'clock and again at 11. Car crash, explosion and slow motion. Feature dead cops and crooks and blood splatter for each. And y'all never fucking leaving my sons with the preacher watcher. News at 6 o'clock and again at 11. You can't think of this horror show. What's next? What's coming? What's around the corner?
And that was an episode of Mikey Booyah getting us pulled from SoundCloud.
Yeah, we might have to cut that short a little bit.
Again at 11.
Mm-hmm. And again at 11. So, yeah, we'll catch you guys Saturday. Thanks for listening, and don't trust the news.
No.
Natural Habitat Recording.